Can you hear me, Jay?
Yeah, man, you're good, dude.
All right, just wanted to check.
You're crystal clear. You may not be able to hear the sound of this going on now, while because of the way it's porting out to the stream. So that's normally why everyone's talking over the sound on this, which is fine. So it's all good, man. Trying to get stuff out. So Mike will probably be on any second. I know Anna snuck on last week. I have no idea if she's gonna show up or not. I haven't talked to her, so I guess it depends on where she is. If she's over at her mom's or whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
I was picking on Gary. Gary said he might drop in on the second hour.
Oh, that's fine. If he wants to, so be it. Unless you don't want me to. You want me to tell him to go scratch, I can do that. I'm just kidding. Gary, get out. That's cool. There comes Mike. Cool. Getting all the shout outs out. Hey, Mike.
Hello. How's it going?
Howdy.
Did you have a eventful day today? Not so much.
Not so much.
I have an eventful day tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be brutal. I gotta go out to Harrisburg. I gotta get to 5:30. I gotta be out there by 8:30.
What's wrong with Harrisburg?
There's nothing wrong with Harrisburg, but I just gotta get there. And it opens you to being heckled. Yes, it does.
Me?
No, I think that's Garner or Catgood. I think he's talking to me. Yes.
Oh. Hey, just show you what happened last night whenever I was pulling out a reference.
Yeah. Busted the corner. Oh my gosh, that's like a $300 error.
Because I had them, like they were packed. They're packed. This
Right.
shelf was packed pretty tight.
Yeah.
And I went to pull it out, and my finger slipped, and it went just like that. And
well, you can use
it's
a usable copy now.
well, I use all my stuff for reference. I mean, I'm not a collector, so.
Yeah, I got one usable.
But still, I was proud of it because it looked really good. Like it was a good copy, and then that happened. I'm like, I was mad. I yelled because they were in Discord. And I'm like,
no.
It's your fault, Gary.
Someone must be blamed.
You had me curious, so I checked my copy. All four corners are taped.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one that's shrink wrap, but my books for the other one are up here. Those books hold up a lot better than the From the Ashes books. From the Ashes books are terrible. They look for terrible.
Now, with this, right, I'm going to be able to hear everything that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, us back and forth. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so because I have Twitch up, but I'm going to mute it so that way.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Whatever happens, whatever we discuss here is what's going to be live. Yeah, absolutely. I forgot you're a rookie to this. You'll enjoy it.
Well, I want to try to keep track of chat.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, just in case.
Pop out window.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do whenever we switch over. Actually, I can switch over now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, Jay is live. And yes, Jay, the only other time I've ever been on your show is for the joust, the first joust.
First joust. Oh, next joust is coming. Next joust is coming.
Is it underwater jousting?
No, Altamira is not an underwater haven, unfortunately.
What do you got against underwater stuff?
I don't have anything against underwater stuff.
Why are you joining the ranks of Eric Mona and Steven Chenault, Jay? I mean, what the hell?
Because I have to kiss both their asses. Especially
you don't have to.
Well, yes, I do.
It's smart to.
Exactly.
All right, I got the pop-out window.
Yeah.
Nice big text, so that way I can read it.
Yeah, old man text. I got the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, and we're early. Look at that. It's only 7:50. We're plenty of time. There is so much. I went through everything. I mean, I found, not counting my home rooms, but a lot of old adventures I did. CDs. We ran out of over 1,000 adventures. that I forgot about. Some of their dungeons, some of their, one of them's actually, one or two are actually 4th edition games that get brought back. I hear that taboo.
You're slumming? Why are you slumming, Jay?
That was before I was streaming. 2 of them by Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Oof.
4th edition games. Yep. So, alright, let's see. I think I'm all caught up here. Patrick gave me a whole bunch of more, sent him a whole bunch more books. We got a ton of giveaways. We're good. This is good. You know what? That's what I don't have. Where is my... I don't know if we'll need it, but where's my Isle of the Dread compilation? There it is.
So you were able to find enough content?
Yeah, I think we have enough content for 3 shows, man. Mike will always tell you, we prepared and over-prepared, like, we didn't even get to this. It happens all the time. We always have stuff, and it's just like, oh, we didn't get to it. That's all right. Another show. Alright. Look, we're early, but I can go over something else in a few minutes. We're early there. Good evening. I don't have Modron. I don't have that.
I gave you the...
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have it in physical copy.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I don't have it.
I don't have it in physical. I should have got... I mean, it's fairly cheap, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really expensive, but...
I got a lot of stuff here in physical copy that we're going to discuss tonight. And in addition, a couple that I just want to get you pick your brain on. One in particular, because I'm not sure how good it is. As far as see if you messed with it. Alright. Look at that. Aquatic lore tonight, everyone. Aquatic lore. First things, though. We're going to do a virtual Greyhawk con update real quick after we make introductions. Let's see where we are. Okay. Everyone, we're really early. I was thinking that Blue Box is winding down. He may raid in, so we're fairly early, so I want to be prepared for it. But let me hit up.
Come here. Come here, you can say hi. Come here. Abby's getting camera shy.
Oh, that's...
She just came up.
Animals are allowed.
Come here. Come here. Back up. Back up.
Yeah, Mac, we're fine. We haven't started yet.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
I wasn't rushed. I was all set and all ready to go.
Come
I
up.
wasn't rushed.
Come up.
So we're in
Come
good
on.
shape here. All right.
See, look, he's here. Look, he's
Oh,
there.
there's
there's a
Look
dog.
at everybody.
All right. Here, we'll bring the...
Yes.
There you go. We'll get a dog cam pic here. There we go. Look at that.
Look at everybody. Say hi.
Troy, what's the dog's name?
Abby.
Abby. So, good evening, everyone.
Doing?
You got Mike and me. Who knows if Anna's going to show, because she's still in Sweden. And we got Cannibal Troy Alleman on for the first time on a discussion tonight. So,
Good to have you, Troy.
yeah. So
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Along with Abby as well, who'll be hopping on and off. Look, there's Josh. See if Josh says anything dumb in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So, just kidding, Josh. Just kidding. So, before we get into the deepness of the aquatic realms, which we have good to see everyone. We have a ton of great content tonight. Let's just do this real quick. We're up to 8. I have now 8 submissions for events for Virtual Greyhawk Con. So there you go. We're getting there. Some good stuff. We have stuff from Curtis, Les, Oblivion Seeker, DM Dave from Guild Superior, and Indicarus so far. So thank you. Thank you very much. We're getting in there, and we get some decent sign-ups, so things are going well. But please get your events in. The earlier, the better, just to help me make sure that we got time slots all covered, planning, and all that. And I'm not talking about streaming. I'm talking about just getting games in. So it's going well. And then we still have plenty of Virtual Con 4 t-shirts as well. All right. Anyone have any questions about the con? And I'll talk about it at the end too. But since we had a minute or two, I wanted to hop on and discuss that. Hey, Tim. Good to see you, Enoch. All right. Whoops. There you go. One of mine. I actually have that. I have the old one, Troy. I got the old. I got the original Necromancer Games one. Yeah. Dead Man's Chest. This is a good book. It's a good book. It's like Glades of Death was another one that I loved by them. It was a great book for druids and all sorts of vileness. This is another great book, and it's got a lot of spells in it too. So Troy, thanks for coming on. So, why don't you? I know it's early still, and people are still rolling in. Give everyone a little background about yourself and what you've been doing with this compilation of all the water aquatic based undertakings you've taken in the last couple of years.
Right.
Just a general, because there might be some people who don't know.
Yeah, just real quick. Ever since I was a kid, I always liked Jacques Cousteau. I was always interested in the oceans and the seas. If you guys ever remember the old National Geographic underwater topo maps, yeah, this is what I had on my bedroom wall.
Oh, that's cool.
And looked at and studied as a kid. Whenever I got older, I went in the Navy. I was on submarines for 20 years in the Navy, retired. While I was in the Navy, I dove. So I have a very strong affinity for the water, ocean life. I was in Hawaii for 14 years, stationed there, among other places. So
cool.
I'm very passionate about the ocean, the seas, water.
What is the deepest you've ever been?
In excess of 600 feet.
Okay.
That's the canned answer that I can give
for a submarine.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really like it. How I was working in a different part and a different biome in Greyhawk whenever I initially found Jay, the Lord Gazumba show, and this community, the Cannon Fire community. Then I was dissuaded I convinced to go into the aquatic realm, and I started working on underwater topography maps, and here we are. Now I'm working on an underwater atlas for Greyhawk and a bunch of other content.
I think the first time anyone saw some of your work, of course it didn't connect to there. You know what? I hate this thing. Now I got to flip this over here. I got to flip this back. Give me one sec here. Whenever I want to add a new one, is this. I think. I could be wrong, but let me switch screens here real quick. You got maps in here, correct?
Yes. The one map that's in there I gave to Gary Julian, and then he adapted it for
Mike's.
this.
Okay, and that would
be...
Mike's
is very good too.
Yeah, Mike's are in there too. This one, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, cool.
That was one of the earliest versions that I did.
Right. Right, and this is a great reference as it is now. But I just want to say that's about that was the beginning of your actual works that were going into stuff that was coming out here, which is fantastic. And because this really adds, if you want to run stuff with the Crimson Fleet or Isle of Dread or Far Shore, whatever you want to do out here, this really helps you with a lot of data. So really excellent stuff. So that was it. And now you've been working on hey, there's Chuck. Hey, so there's Troll Lord Chuck. Chuck, that's really embarrassing. You don't have a subscriber badge next to your name, so fix that for me. Thanks. See, look, I can call out my sponsors. So, hey, darling, good to see you. So there comes Blue Box too. Look at that timing. So a production and a half here. So thank you so very much. It's good to see everyone. Blue Box. We got Troy Alleman, who's joining us for the first time in a discussion, and we're going to talk some great things, including sea-based, ship-based, underwater kingdoms, anything you can think of tonight. And it's so much data that,
Everywhere.
yeah, it's a ton of stuff. And hey, good to see you again, Will, as well. So, so Troy, it's Darling did it for Chuck. That's funny. Thanks, Darling. So, Troy, this seems to be a process that I'm saying this with all lovingness. You keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper into the lore and enjoying more and doing more and doing more, right? Does that seem to be the way it's going? More areas, more terrain, more land maps, more underwater topography, more expansions.
Yes,
Okay.
a lot of research.
Okay.
Because my goal, like I want to open up the underwater realms for everybody to use. And in doing so, like I don't want to, my intention is not to tip over the apple cart, but to blend new Greyhawk content in with the existing.
Okay.
Right? So that way it's, all whatever is already established, just add to it.
Okay.
Not change it, but add to it. So that way it's more accepted by the community. And it's up to the DM's imagination and the players to run
Absolutely.
with it.
So, where do we start here? I'll say for myself, I went back and I found, just scratching the surface, about 9 adventures, about 9 that I've run in the last, from number 600 on. I concentrate on the recents of water-based. No, I've done other beyond that, but ones that I were either were published for someone else or that I thought had some significance to them. And Mike, your aspect of this is you're going to come at it from Fleetwise and all stuff at Sea Princes. And
Maybe no. I'm coming at it more from published factoids on.
Oh, cool.
Aquatic lore, not adventures.
Published factoids. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did I set up the giveaway, everyone? Let me see. So there you go. Classic D&D reprints tonight, and we got a whole bunch of new ones from Patrick Canadian Ancient Gamer. So we got a whole bunch of good stuff. I even have a Drow the Underdark here, which is really cool, which we just got. So cool, LJ, just look. So give us a factoid. We'll start out with that, and then we'll run the Troy for some good stuff.
Oh man,
throw us a factoid.
Get this thing rolling. Okay. One of the first things we'll just get out of the way here is Archmage Dromage, right?
Yep.
He's favorite under the sea.
You're frozen. Yep.
Okay.
You were frozen.
Good.
I'm
frozen?
You were for a second. Now you're not.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Anyhow, he is known to have an undersea lair near Keoland. Troy could probably tell you more about it. But interestingly, I found that there's a very obscure reference. I think it was in Scarlet Brotherhood.
Oh, it's in Scarlet Brotherhood.
An obscure reference that Dromage might have a second layer off of the coast of the Scarlet Brotherhood, the Tilvanat Peninsula, that he's keeping an eye. It's a rumor. It's one of them rumors, many rumors and things, but it's one that I like. I mean, that's what Magi should do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought I would throw that out.
It's in the Scarlet Brotherhood.
In the Bay of Renho. So, I mean, you gotta have the Scarlet Brotherhood maps to zoom in that close to see what the individual bays are called along the northern coast of that peninsula.
Well, That's awesome. That's a great factoid. So, Troy, this artwork that goes along with what Mike's discussion is Drawmage underwater and Drawmage and Drawmage himself.
Yeah, Drawmage and Drawmage's Tower. I had those commissioned a while back from an artist on Fiverr.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So from this, I'm gonna ask the question: can they see the light source coming out of the tower? Can you see that above water, down into the water, if you were above in the air? If it was night, I'm assuming you could.
It's approximately 150 foot depth, I think, is what in Drawmage's Tower. The only detail of it is in
Right.
this book here.
Yep.
On page 24, and it I believe it says it's 150 feet underwater. So
is that from the base or from the top? That doesn't say. So
yes. So either way, if a light was coming out of a tower like that, then yeah, you definitely see it at night, and through the day, depending on the clarity of the water, you could see down that far as well.
Very cool. What so you've done some research in, Troy. Why we think that Drawmage has done this? Why place an underwater lair?
There's reference to it that he doesn't want to stay in his tower in Gradsel because of the hustle and bustle. So he prefers the solitude to be able to experiment and work on his magic research in the ocean.
He's got like relation in Gradsel, I recall. Like he's from there.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
My biggest question
I was just
of all.
Gonna say, sorry, Jay. I was just gonna say that I know when I was looking back over Drawmage, I was surprised to recall that one of his interests that he's probably experimenting on down there is in chronomancy.
Okay.
Is what we would have called that in second edition. Time. Like, what's his ultimate goal there? I don't know. I just think it seems interesting to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you have to admit, right? Like, I mean, that would be the ultimate place to quiet all the noise or even have serene noise. Because it says in there that Otto actually helped him research a magical device that will let him listen and tune in basically to like whale song.
Oh, cool.
And hear great distances throughout the water. So a lot of information in there in like 4 paragraphs.
Buddies with the Archdruid of the Azure Sea,
Svedris Menno.
Yep.
He actually built his tower in Svedris Menno's grotto, which is there in the Azure Sea, and he is an Archdruid that his area of responsibility is the Azure Sea, all of it. He originally came from the Mennowood, and that character was created by Gary Julian.
That, in my opinion, is probably a better ally to have than all them other damn wizards on the Circle of
I'd say so.
Yeah,
especially here.
And if you want to read more about Svedris Menno and the Druid Circle of the Sea, you could check out the latest edition of Visions of Greyhawk because it is in there.
Aha!
Nice.
And who is that? Who wrote that one? You did, correct? You wrote
that article.
Did. Awesome.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
Tie-in.
Yeah. Now I don't know where I put it under which Legends and Lore, which Gabbin. I think I put it on Gabbin 253. Yep. Always got to be ready. Do we know what page, Troy? Oh, here we go. It's easy enough. The Aquatic Norker, right?
No, that's a new underwater monster that I made. It'd be Druid Circle of the Sea. Yeah. Yeah,
really had to kiss Norker's butt on that, huh? Nah, I'm just kidding. That's cool. Druid, Circle of the Sea. There we go. All right. So we got the circle members here. We got spells in here too. Some are, I'm assuming, some are from published sources. Some are.
All are new except for 2.
Ink Cloud is definitely from the Great Net Spellbook. Correct.
Now that's my version of
That's
it.
your version. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
all those are my version with the,
Okay.
and then there's 2 that were existing, and the sources are listed on there.
That's excellent. And here we go. The Higher Front Druids.
Yep. That's some of them. And their areas of responsibility of where they're at. There's an aquatic elf, a selkie,
right.
Lizardmen, and
Nixie.
the one not pictured, Nixie. The one not pictured is Murzog Croatus, who is a storm giant archdruid, and he takes care of the Drawmidge Ocean and Sea of Hyperborea.
Excellent. Great
Might
stuff.
come back to that.
Yeah, you're gonna come back to that. That's awesome.
I might come back to that.
Okay. So, and thank you all for that that massive hype train. I really appreciate it. All right. Visions of Greyhawk, everyone. So, let's kick it right off with Drawmidge. My last question about Drawmidge. Did Jim Ward have anything to do with doing the underwater lair? Who put Drawmidge underwater? Was it Sargent? Was it Niles? Who did it?
I know that it wasn't Jim Ward.
Okay. So Folks, Food, and Factions is Niles, isn't it? The Gem of the Flannis is Sargent and Rose. Nope. It's Sargent and Rose is Folks, Foods, and Factions. It's one of those 2. Well, we can always ask Rick Rose then. If we ever have Rick Rose back on, we can ask him, hey, Carlos, good to see you. So really cool. All right. That's awesome. Good start here. Look, we have a ton of content tonight. We're just going to slam this out and go bounce all over the place. Whatever everyone wants to talk about aquatic lore. Good start, Mike. Really good start. All right, Troy. What really floats your boat here with the content you've done? Publications you want to discuss, or factoids, maps? Let's dig in deep here. What we got?
Well, first I would like to thank Steve Marsh.
Okay.
Because he is the creator of the Sahuagin, the Ixochitl, and Aquatic Elves.
Nice.
That's awesome.
In the very first OD&D, where they came from.
So it'd be good to get him on occasion eventually.
Yes, he is basically the father of aquatic denizens in Dungeons and Dragons.
Did he create Lakatha?
That I don't know. I know those 3 he did for certain.
Okay.
Yeah, he would be awesome to get as a guest.
Okay.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. All I see is hiking pictures, though.
Yeah.
So.
He was at Gray. I think it was at Gary Con. Josh, was he at Gary Con last year? I could have sworn he was. So, we got some opportunity there. We reach out and touch him. All right. Well, that's awesome to hear that. And you have a bunch of publications here too when it comes to that. So, how much let's talk about the Sahuagin here, and let me pop this up. I have them all. Do we want to go to Evil Tide, or do we go to the Sea Devils? Which one is more of a bet?
Well, you have a series of adventures, which is Evil Tide, Night of the Shark, and Sea of Blood, and they were all done by Bruce Cordell.
Yep.
Very good. It's a series.
Right.
But as a separate book, the Sea Devils, which you mentioned, that was done by Skip Williams, and it's basically an ecology of Sahuagin and their society.
Had there already been a ecology article in Dragon, you think, before that came out? It just popped in my head.
I'm trying to think of it. I don't recall one. All I know is that from the beginning of the Sahuagin discussion, they always know that they were soulless. That's all the main thing I knew. And they could be mutants too. Yeah. So From your how much of this really helped you?
Oh, a lot. Like if you want to deep dive into everything Sahuagin, how their society works, how it's set up. There's even a great example, a great map in there of like what their settlement would look like underwater.
In the Sea Devils?
Yes, in the Sea Devils, a 2-pager.
I'm looking for my Sea Devils book. I don't even know where it went. Did I not bring that one up?
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of puns tonight this
Here.
week, Professor.
Evil Tide, Sea Devils. Look at that. It's still attached. I'm not unattaching it. Mine's attached in the back. All right. Let me see if I scroll through and take a look at it in the back here.
It's on page 66 and 67.
Okay, not the handout map then. Not that. Mine's attached
No.
there. Okay.
No, it's baked in the book.
All right, sounds good. 66, 67. Aha.
And that's a big trench in the middle there. But and if above those pictures is the key, the map key for all the different spots that are labeled on there. They're numbered. But it's a really good resource. It gives you ideas for what type of resources they would be farming or what they need to survive underwater, and what you could apply that to other Aquan races in your campaign setting.
So let's just discuss U1 through U3 was child's play compared to the depth that these go, correct? I mean, that was just, you go in and you fight them and you're underwater and your half movement rate. This really gets more into the weeds.
Yes.
Okay.
It even goes so far as to go into their society, basically their power structure, how they're organized as a clan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
See.
Tie that in with this. Another commission?
Yes, that is a commission from my artist I have on Fiverr. He does a lot of cities and stuff for me.
Wow.
And he did this. This is a Sahuagin settlement. And he has those numbered, created that trench on either side. So it's like a plateau or the edge of a continental shelf for where they're going to live.
Do they live on coral or do they live on seabed or both?
They live on the seabed, sea caves, or even sunken ruins.
Okay.
Yeah, the blue definitely. You're not mistaken. You are underwater.
Yeah.
Yes.
That glow to it.
What's the general depth that they exist at?
I would say they're a little deeper than average, so I'd say 1 to 300.
Okay.
I wouldn't go any deeper than 500 feet for them.
Right. Because they do have eye visual and they'd lose sight at that range, right? I mean, it would be dark.
Yeah, 500-600 feet, you start losing sunlight.
Doc Shoulder asks, do you run a sea-based campaign yourself?
I do not, Doc. I am too busy creating all kinds of content for you guys to use here in the future. I'm very busy. I don't even play in anybody's games anymore just because I am I have many irons in the fire.
Yeah, absolutely do land raids too. So it's a cool map. I mean,
The last time I did run something underwater was with these very books, Sea of Blood and probably Sea Devils, but I'm trying to remember how deep I had my players go because I had to have them acquire special like way to get down there. So I think I was having them go farther than 500, unfortunately.
Oh, that's okay.
What do I know?
I have something to add about that?
Please do.
There have been in my opinion, I love the underwater setting. There are some people that believe it might be too hard or too laborious to implement the underwater setting to run it for your players or your
No.
game.
Yeah.
There's I'll break it down. I'll make it really simple. You can choose one or two paths. You can make it to where it's just a setting and you want water to be ever present threat, which it can be in real life. Or you could just make it to where you give your adventurers all kinds of magical ways, like a magical ring of water breathing or whatever, and then you're just basically exploring. So you can have it those two or somewhere in the middle.
I think even after you do all the hand waving of the sea environment, you still have that 3D environment, which is what I like.
Yeah, true,
Because
true.
when you're in a normal dungeon on dry land, you're not really thinking up and down very much. But underwater, it's always a concern. I know for running combats, that's how it is.
Yeah, if you want adventurers to explore underwater, put whatever widget, object, MacGuffin at the bottom of the sea, and they're going to find a way to get to it. Because that's just our nature, right?
Absolutely, definitely. Carlos, I got you on that question. So, yeah, we've always run, and I'll show you an underwater, a short. Here's a real short underwater adventure, which is right in the Free Sea Greyhawk box set, which I've run. I ran it early on in my adventures. This is number. Of course, I probably didn't write it down. I ran this for number 722. That's not right. That's a different one. Oh well, it doesn't matter. All right, so this is right in the Free City Graph box set. A cool one. Ghost ship. And you can put it anywhere. Yeah, I mean, anywhere you want, you can put this in. I've put this in my area. I do a ton of Woolly Bay. So, and there you go. Searching a wreck. It's a two page card.
You can never go wrong with shipwrecks.
You can never go wrong with shipwrecks. You got an underwater shipwreck. A really neat one. And it's average of 7th level. Have fun with that.
Where do they recommend that one set?
It says here, employed to provide protection against pirate vessels taking weapons from on wall for the defense of the Iron Lake. So near the eastern, where that Woolly Bay comes out. What's the one that runs out under Niron south of there? That bay, that area.
Relmore Bay.
Relmore, yeah. So, but there's no reason you can't put this wherever you want.
Okay.
There's wrecks everywhere.
Yeah,
it's a cool one. So something to consider. Easy start. And it's already in a Greyhawk adventure. So, Troy asks Troy, good old Carlos asks for you, what's your favorite underwater monster creature?
I would say I'm partial to giant squid.
Kraken level or not that big?
Kraken or even smaller. They're just very versatile and very formidable foes. You can adjust the size for whatever you need for your adventure.
Okay.
I mean, as an example, in Lord of the Rings, just take that giant octopus or squid that came out of that swamp, appropriate size to give a party, a workover, to a Kraken if you want to have it combat a ship.
We all know about 5-6 years ago, Whiz Kids, they all put out Kraken miniatures, right? Yeah.
There's one right there on the bookshelf.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I got one in the community I haven't used yet. I was gifted it, and thank you. When I was, I apologize, I forget who gave it to me, but I got actually sent me 2 of them, and they're ready to go. They were like from a Kickstarter from years ago. So I'm surprised though. You like the Kraken? That's cool.
Yeah.
I like dragon turtles.
One right there, the Reaper.
Yeah. It's big. Dragon turtles are neat just because they're usually ancient. They're so huge. And the near deeps has a ton of them, so that's just one that I like.
Well, there's a Zosher, the name dragon turtle up in the Drawmedge Ocean, which killed the first Sultan of Zeef.
I did not know that.
Ozef.
Laura Altov. And
Nice.
Dickarus and those guys are going to love you for that. And the
There's a
players,
lot of good information in this. Very valuable.
Player's Guide to Z from Living Greyhawk. Wow.
Correct.
That's pretty cool. I don't think that's one thing. I don't think I have the map up for that area. I'm not going to throw Anna's map up here, guys, because I got so much open right now. So very cool. The climate up there, water wise, is it more like the North Sea, or is it more like running up the Bering, or because I would think that would be cold water flow.
Well, you got the ICC above it.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Mike. You're raising your hand.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was supposed to raise.
Oh,
It was
Air Force salute. Got it.
Hmm.
Well, you got the ICC above it, and then you have the Drawmedge Ocean. And in the 83 box set, or the glossography, it says that the Drawmedge has warm water current.
Warm.
So
How do
to
you do
support that, you have two options: either hydrothermal vent activity on a massive scale,
Yeah.
or you have a thing called the Strait of Omara, which will allow warm water current to come up from the south, which naturally is what happens. Come up through the strait, in through the Sea of Hyperborea, and then up through the Drawmedge Ocean. You will not find it on that map.
Right. But I have Hyperborea here. I know.
I've seen the Drawmedge Ocean in some public sources called a circumpolar. See that it actually is, the ICC is part of it ultimately. So, like he said, how do you explain for the warm water? Yeah.
Plus,
yeah. So I did Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm sorry, Troy. I can't see there being a straight flow of current with all these islands either. It's like Canada. How the heck is the flow of current making it warm?
Well, the warm water would come up. I should have sent you the other map.
No, it's okay.
With it, where it actually has the strait. But, warm water comes up just like where the warm water comes up along the east coast of the U.S., right?
Right.
It gets warmed down south and then comes up along.
Here you go.
The eastern, yes, right there. So the Strait of Omara, you can accept it or not. That's fine. That's part of the reason why I put it in there to help explain this.
This does not exist in the other map. The DA1 map is what you're saying.
Correct.
Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my creation. Gary helped me name it. He came up with the Strait of Omara.
Okay.
And I wrote up a description and history for it in another product that'll be coming out from the Beyond the Flyness project. But basically, the water gets warm down south, and the Celestial Sea comes up through the Strait of Omara, into the Sea of Hyperborea, and then up into the Drawmedge Ocean, to where it starts to lose its warmth as it mixes with the water coming in from the ICC and going into the northern latitudes. So, and that's the normal cycle.
Okay. Okay, that
but
makes sense.
That helps explain that line of information, which is in the glossography.
Okay.
Now, how would, I don't want to get too deep into this kind of stuff because I wish Anna was here for it. But how would having the big line of black ice even affect things? Like, is it a dividing line between the ICC and, say, the warmer Drawmedge Ocean? How does that even affect things?
Well, the ICC is above that, right? It runs all the way from north of Zeef and Ekbeer, right? And runs all the way across, all the way out to the
If we were looking top down on the pole.
yeah, top down. Yeah, that's all the ICC across there. And there's references to it where it's frozen over like 7-8 months out of the year.
Okay.
Like travel would only be open for like 3 or 4 months, depending.
So it's like northern Hudson Bay up in Canada.
Yes.
Okay. And then in bad winters, it's open a month, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had, I prior to me going into the aquatic world, I was working on barbarians on the Brink Islands, and I drew up a kayak / dog sled equivalent to where they would use to travel in case they would break through the ice. Then it would still float, and then they would gather up their dogs and them and go into the kayak if need be. A safer way to travel.
So here's a technical question that Big Mac asks, Troy, for you is what needs to be different between an aquatic city and an inland ones in inland lakes if you were going to do cities in different spots?
Well, different creatures, different aquan races,
Fresh and salt,
whether you're going to do fresh and saltwater, primarily. There's nothing keeping you from having aquatic elves in freshwater, vice saltwater. They're not laden to just saltwater. You got sea sprites. You got I know that they're fresh and saltwater as well. I mean, the near div is huge. It would be perfect to have other freshwater versions of aquan races if you wanted to have that, or any of the major lakes. I mean, really, Wystall and Lake Crag.
So, all right, that's cool. Mostly, no changes like in. Well, I guess there would be their food base and all might be slightly different too. What they're consuming.
There'll be slight changes, but I mean, shellfish. There's freshwater versions and saltwater versions. Fish in general, seaweed or grasses, exist in both environments. So, if only somebody would make a book and have this information in.
That's so true. All right, my turn for a question.
Okay.
I love all the weird sea traps there are out there. In particular, I know you've done up this, so let's discuss them.
Oh,
there's multiple ones, right? Besides just the Jungle of Lost Ships. So this is your actual Jungle of Lost Ships map, right?
Yes.
How big of an area is this?
That is many miles.
So are we talking 1,000 square miles? 30 by 30? It's got to be, right? 30 by 30?
I think it's bigger.
It's bigger than 1 hex. Okay. All right.
I think it's slightly bigger than 1 hex.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
That's awesome. Okay.
It is also it's marked on Anna's map. I gave her the information, the rough whereabouts of it from the sources that were described for Jungle Lost Ships and for Turakambi, that comes out of Greyhawk Adventures book. They are on her map if anybody is interested or knowing where they're located.
Okay. So here are the ones I know of. The Jungle Lost Ships, the Sinking Isle, Turakambi, right?
Yep.
3. Is the 4th one the Sargasso, is that in Savage Tide? Because I know we were talking
That
about that. Yeah.
yeah, that's in Savage Tide.
Okay, so that's a Savage Tide one, and I've shared these before, but Journey's End to Sargasso is here's Dungeon Meister's friend John Mark Balvo did that, and I think that's cool too. So we know 4 really cool, unique places that you can get stuck in, which is really a neat thing. Hey, there's Curtis. Um, I know you've developed this Jungle Lost Ships. Is that the one you've done the most work on?
Um, I have it written.
Okay.
It's part 2 in the series.
Okay.
The first part is called Ocean's Bounty, and I plan to release it this month.
Wow.
It is currently in playtest right now with 2 separate groups. Once I receive that feedback, I will make the applicable changes, and then it'll go to design and layout, and I'll have it done and in the can this month sometime.
That's awesome. Will that be once again available as a PDF for the community, but in limited print, or are you just going to print it, or just PDF it?
I'm just going to PDF it. I don't have a home really for
Okay.
my stuff right now, so even the Arma Qualish, it exists in PDF, but I haven't put it out for public consumption.
Okay.
But getting back to the Jungle of Lost Ships, I have a lot of the maps done for it. I have it written. There are multiple factions that exist on this isle.
Wow.
And the history of the Jungle of Lost Ships and actually how it was formed, I wrote that up.
Dun dun dun.
Because nobody explained it, so I took the liberty to come up with the origin of the Jungle of Lost Ships and how it was formed.
That's awesome.
Right.
That is very cool. So look forward to this shortly, everyone. Look forward to it for the community shortly. Maybe someone will be brave enough to run it at a virtual GrowCon. That'd be cool. I know it's probably longer than that. So how soon is shortly? He said this month, right?
That's Ocean's Bounty Part 1. That's Part 2, Jungle of Lost Ships.
Okay. Ocean's Bounty Part 1. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Very cool. So, let me see here. Mike, throw out us a tidbit of information.
Okay.
How's that sound?
So earlier you were talking about freshwater stuff, and we all know like the near div is the Lake of Unknown Depths. It is deep enough to be like this inland sea practically.
Yep.
And we know a lot about it because it's centralized. Anything that's written about Greyhawk will also include this lake or IUs or Marklands. It's you could do a whole show on just that. So I was looking at for stuff like what's in or below the lake, and then I stumbled upon something I hadn't read in ages. Living Greyhawk Journal number 4 has a new monster called the Nerean Boat Crusher.
Really?
Familiar with this one, Troy? Yeah.
You got me. You got me on something.
The Nerean Boat Crusher is an elephant-sized, it's kind of like a walrus or something like that. It's just, it's standard animal doing standard animal things, but it's specific to that lake. And it's just one of them, when you're going out across the lake, and it says how, strange monsters can attack you. It's just one of those things that will pop out. And yeah, it even has a drawing. Nerean Boat Crusher. You're welcome.
Nice, Mike. Great one.
So
I've had a young pair of these creatures transported. Is this Luby? Is this our Brit friends? Let me see who
got to even look to see who wrote that. Yeah.
Oh, it's Sean Reynolds. Cool.
Yeah.
Nerean Boat Crusher. Well, it's
Nerean Boat Crusher.
11 hit die. Nice.
Now in the City Grog box set, they actually have a D6 encounter chart for the lake that includes Dragon Turtle, Jay's favorite, Giant Gars, Giant Lampreys, giant snapping turtles, sea lions, and then number 6 is horrors from the Dungeon Master's imagination. So I guess Nerium boat crushers and Krakens and anything else, Cthulhu's, all that can fit in the 6 slot.
Well, this thing can go up to 33 hit die, it says.
So there you go.
Awesome one, Mike. You got everyone on that one. The wonders of living Greyhawk journals.
It takes a lot of time and effort
Yes.
to find something Troy hasn't already added to his list. Yes.
Real quick, let's talk about. I'll bring my one up. How's that? I love Drown Ones. Right? Great creature, and it appears in Greyhawk Adventures. You all know I've done adventures with Drowned Ones, including the legendary. Of course, now I have so many things open. The legendary adventure I did called The Fog, where the fog rolled into Harby and the Drowned Ones came beyond it and terrorized everyone in Harby. There's some pictures of that. And those adventures were in the around in the 800s. 865 I ran the fog, so it wasn't that long ago. But if you know your Ghosts of Saltmarsh, or if you know dungeon number 106, okay, we'll go to another legend who I've not had on the show, who we need to get on, who wrote the adventure Tamaro's Fate. Yes, Tamaro's Fate is in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, but here's the original one, page 18 of Dungeon 106. And with this, he is genius enough in this adventure to give multiple. Now, in Greyhawk Adventures, it says these Drowned Ones can be clerics, can cast spells. But he goes beyond that, Greg, in this. And there are, and I've done it, and I did this just recently in the Lighthouse Adventures off of Blue Bay. That Patrick Gate was kind enough to do that map up on the Wild Coast. And we had the lighthouse from Gamescape. So here we go. Show you some of these in Tamaro's Fate that he did, and some great pictures. Like I said, this was its own adventure, and then they just stole it and put it into Ghost of Saltmarsh. But where are they? Where are they? There are assassins, and some other classes.
I ran this from Ghost of Saltmarsh. It's like Drowned Ones, but there's a monk one.
Yeah, monks and assassins.
Spellcaster one.
Yep, absolutely. Here you go.
A fighter.
Monks and assassins get added to the clerk. Yep. So, and they're right here. And I just said, you know what? A great one. It's a unturnable, unique to Greyhawk undead, right? And that makes it great. And this makes it even better because now Greg Vaughn enhanced it, and now it's in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and hopefully they're in there as well. So there you go. Really cool. I just wanted to share that it's a great sea-based adventure, and you can have fun with it on its own. You don't necessarily need to do it. Use it just in Ghosts of Saltmarsh. You can run it for whatever purpose. Just so you know, where I ran it, Tamaro's Fate was really early. We're talking about I don't know, in the 500s. Yeah, it was very early in my gaming life when it first came out. So really cool, and kudos to the Drowned Ones. Troy, what do you got? Amaze us with something that everyone will be like, oh my God, that's cool. What do you think?
Everybody's favorite, White Plume Mountain. There were 2 magic items that came from there. Wave and Surge, twin tridents that were forged by the Cyclops of Thunder Forge Island.
Nice.
That's where they first appeared, and then Bruce Cordell added them in Evil Tide, and then they were in a 4th edition product after that.
Oh, cool! So they're in Evil Tide. Nice.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Because I was running. Sorry, Troy. I was running the 5e
Arcana 32.
White Plume Mountain. And the backstory on Wave in 5e mentions what you just said, but that's an Evil Tide. Okay.
There it is.
And then Greyhawk Adventures also has the Trident of the Olyet Sea, which is a +2 trident.
Alec Cake says hi, Troy, whoever that is. Hello
Hey,
back.
Allie.
Good to see you. Welcome if you're new
Hello.
to the channel. Please feel
Welcome.
free to follow if you so choose. All right, so Surge is a little-known weapon companion to Wave. Did not know that. Wave is considered Poseidon. Surge is created to a demigod of the sea possessing eel-like attributes. Deity's name Anguillusis has been forgotten by all save the Deep Mother and the Trident itself. Okay. A deity that's an eel. That's pretty gross. Nice. Awesome. Still much about it. So I did not know that. I did not know there was a companion to Wave. Education.
Speaking of magic tridents, while we're on that topic, the deity Zerbo, created by Len Lakofka in Dragon Magazine 90. His trident is called Murky Deep, I think, or maybe I'm.
We know that's an
confusing some.
adventure.
Yeah, that's an adventure. It's murky something, at any rate. And it combines the powers of yearning and submission. There's two tridents back in AD&D.
Oh shit.
The trident of yearning and the trident of submission, and it does both.
Here,
The murky deep.
the murky deep. Yeah. I once again, I'm here's Surge, and I'm talking. I don't even have that page up. I apologize. Yeah. Duh. So here's Surge in page 32 of Evil Tide, right here at the end of it, under Arcana. And then Troy, I know you referenced murky deep. What does that tie into what Mike said with Zerbo, or is murky deep go a different direction?
It's just a general adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only stuff I can find on Zerbo is really in that Dragon Magazine article.
Well, once again, it's Len stuff, right?
Yeah.
He's also in Monster Mythology.
Well, okay. There you go.
The aquatic pantheon is in there with decent write-ups.
Cool.
Okay. And you know, Leonard always said his stuff disappeared, you know, or got changed or whatever. So the less it's written about it, probably the better.
Justinius
Yeah,
is running Murky Deep. Aha.
Oh, you changed the deity in here to Procan. Oh, that's cool because
That
it's
works.
a generic adventure. It makes sense. That's good to hear, Greg. That's good to hear that you're running it. I have not run this, so I'll take a look at it. But that's and it was written by shoot, I know I just saw it. Norman Ritchie, which I don't know. So, is there anything setting specific in a Murky Deep, or is it generic? Well, there's a Temple of Manana and MacLear, which is Celtic here, and I use Celts in mine. So, I guess not. I think it's generic. Let me see if it says where you can place. Nope, it doesn't even say place it here or place it there. The adventure is not set in a specific game world, but can easily fit in any campaign setting. All right, there you go. So, not Greyhawk specific. What's a good one? Very good. That's awesome. Did not know about those weapons. So there you go. Some new legendary weapons for use for you all. I know I asked this of Sean Reynolds. I don't think I ever got the answer. Troy, have you who created the Malenti?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Who created them?
What do you think of them?
I think they're very interesting. Aquan, you could use a lot with them for like spying and infiltration and whatnot. Now, how they came about and what they came from is kind of hard to believe.
Yeah. Cast off
but
from Sahagwin, which really, how that happens and they don't get slaughtered right at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking, you know, like they get kicked into the pit, you know, or thrown off the cliff, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, the concept is very interesting. Like you could really do a lot of, you know, spy espionage, like I said, infiltration into, you know, the aquatic elf world. But I don't know if anybody knows this, but that's why the aquatic elves have the dolphins around. The dolphins can sniff them out and identify them.
Yeah.
Which is a really
they are sea dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Hmm.
Malenti are in the Slavers publication. This is,
Yes.
I searched Pinterest, and they, of course, everyone sexifies or makes good looking. This is supposed to be a Malenti. You know, in the Slavers, they look kind of a little bit mutated. They don't look like super hot, you know,
No,
else
it's Wayne
around
Reynolds
there.
did the art.
But yeah, but yeah, there's one picture in the Slavers reference, which shows, you know, they have elf ears basically, and it's in the middle somewhere. I always found it interesting because when I first got this reference, I'm like, this is something new that I don't recall being in like the U3 or even talked about there. Which I thought was neat. It should be somewhere in this middle area, but if I missed it, I'm sorry. Past Harby, there's Alita. It should be somewhere in there. So, all right. So it could be now. There's Malenti, by the way, when in Sean Reynolds' Crossbows and Crossbones adventure, where he introduces this publication for at Gen Con, and I ran that live stream a couple years ago because he gave it to me. Right? Shh, don't tell anyone because he said don't tell anyone. But sorry, and there was two Malenti in that, so I think he introduced them. It's very possible that he's the creator of it. And I could always ask him, and we could find out. But I always found it interesting, like mutants of the mutants, because Sahagwin themselves can mutate. It was just weird, you know. Um,
Like
but they're there.
another concept that you could use, right? Like as a DM for your players is have Malenti posing as aquatic elves,
Yeah.
but interact with shore-based humans, right?
Okay.
Like if you want to set up some strife between humans and aquatic elves, you got the perfect infiltrators and they don't have to worry about getting sniffed out by dolphins.
That's true. But I did not know. I did not know about the dolphins. I thought the dolphins were to protect against Sahagwin, not Malenti.
Yeah, they use
They
them as
both.
mounts,
Yeah.
and to help fend up because Sahuagin usually come with sharks too,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
And so, all right. What sharks? Good question. Good lead in. Are all sharks like great whites? What do you have? What sharks do you have in Greyhawk? Is it the full gamut that exists on our planet, or is it like, well, I have hammerheads, I have, you know, so, ha.
I will point everybody to
Goes to Salt Marsh, okay?
Ghost of Salt Marsh. In the back, they have giant sharks. They got reef sharks. They got shell sharks. All different kind of variety, depending upon what level
Okay.
you need.
That's not in this section of this. This is separate.
No.
Okay, it's just ship combat. All right.
Yeah.
And mine's, look, that's got a fold in it. I don't care. That this book's like almost impossible to get. So, yeah, an unbelievable one. All right, so they have all different kinds of sharks in Ghost of Salt Marsh itself. So you're saying that they added something in the Ghost of Salt Marsh beyond all the other adventures. That's new content.
Yes.
Good.
Some new monsters. Yep.
That's excellent to hear. That's good. It's real good to hear. Fantastic. All right. What is so with the Sahagwin? This is actually a picture from, I think, U3 from the, like, right on the inside cover. Um, give me the underwater pecking order of races. Like,
Is there a pecking order?
like is it the Zactyl at the top, or is it the Sahagwin?
I would say Sahuagin is
Okay.
the top
Okay.
for bad guys.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Ixochitl are really bad, so they kind of get teamed up on.
Okay.
In the player's guide to Zeef, I'll plug in Dickerus and those guys again.
Mhm.
In the write up, basically, there's only one last bastion. In the Gulf of Gyar Gazetteer, also, because of how much of a threat they are, and they're a threat to everybody. Like they'll go after whoever. It doesn't matter. They were beat back into basically one group of them was left in all
Okay.
of the Drawmidge Ocean, because that's how dangerous they are to everybody. But Sahuagin are very evil. I would say that they're not only because of their numbers, but because of the threat that they are. And in Ghost of Saltmarsh, there are many different varieties of Sahuagin, right? There's actually 4-armed Sahuagin who are. What was that, Mike?
Oh, I disagree. Forearms.
Yeah, they're like miniature Hulks per se.
But there's a 6-armed Sahuagin prince in U3. Oh, I gave it away. They're crazy. Yeah. Okay. So definitely Sahuagin top. What about with the benign ones? I mean, if there isn't any, that's it. The CLs, the mermen, the Licata,
Well, I mean, it depends on like
location.
if you're going for good versus evil, but I would say Sahuagin is number one overall.
Okay. So that makes sense. I'm sorry, I'm getting bombarded here like I always do. All right, so throw us another great lore piece there, Troy. Some great stuff coming out so far. I have more maps, don't I? I have a lot of maps.
Rex Phyllis, Cat Lord. They won't be underutilized. Mermen won't be,
The Tritons
or
too.
Merfolk will not be underutilized. Neither will Tritons. Coming soon. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. That's great to hear.
I just finished writing up a Merfolk city called Coral Haven, and have it outfitted with its primary NPCs.
Yeah, Rex Halls just asked if any of you ever created a sea elf city. I always imagine large sea elf kingdoms in the seas of Earth. Yeah.
Why, yes. Jay could show you a picture.
Yes, I can. Undercity V2?
Yes. He's going to show you a picture of an aquatic elf city that I had an artist make for me. This is called Luminera, and it is an aquatic elf city. And it's 8K resolution, so Jay could like zoom in, and you could actually use this map as a battle map in the areas if you wanted to.
Easy to use in a VTT.
Yes.
There you go. These connectors, are they air based for visitors, or
no? Those aren't air based.
Okay.
They're just pathways. But since you brought that up, another tidbit of lore, which is also in the Player's Guide to Zeef, is everybody knows the inventor Qualish.
Mm-hmm.
People know him for the apparatus of Qualish, which was designed to go in harsh environments. But Qualish invented an underwater dome up in the Drawmidge Ocean to have a place where humans could interact with the Aquans. And it was used basically as an olive branch for peacekeeping after the battle beneath the waves, a very intense war that happened. What's the matter, Mike? Did you have?
I was going to bring that. I was going to bring that up
yeah.
next. Yeah, go for it. You're on a roll.
Yeah, the humans, basically Zeef was in a war with the Bakary Coast, included them. They enlisted the help of the Lokatha and basically had them. They tricked the Zeethan fleet to go into the shallows, and they lost about half of their fleet in that battle, and that
Oh,
was
wow.
the turning tide. Basically, the depletion of power that could be projected by Zeef in that area, and that's whenever a lot of places
Freeze.
gained their freedom.
Yeah.
And then a new sultan came in, and peace was established, and Qualish was part of that in building that underwater dome for
Nice.
them,
Ties together.
for that all to accomplish.
So Rex Wallace is asking, where can he find any of this stuff? Where can he find this?
The only thing that is complete right now is the Arma Qualish, which Jay is showing right there. That's part 1. Part 2 is due to come out in December, the end of this year, which will be the search for Qualish. And then part 3 sometime next year.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another beautiful map by my map guy, Pena Negra on Fiverr.
Wow.
He does amazing work.
Yeah, I'll say. Really nice.
And then there's some of my playing maps, you know.
Is that
you
his
can
tower?
use for
Is that his
VTT.
tower there? From the
Yeah,
top
that's
view?
that's the
Yeah.
rock outcropping that's out from the city of Nafik on the west coast.
Rex Wallace, yeah. Does this have a home yet? Arma Qualish yet?
No.
Not yet. Okay. When it has a home, Rex Wallace, I promise I'll let you know. Okay? Promise. Yep.
But as for all the other stuff that I have, again, some of the stuff has already been released in the Visions of Greyhawk
John.
zine, and more stuff will be coming out in the future issues of Visions of Greyhawk. I already submitted another monster lore write-up and underwater magic items. That will also include in the future spells and other thing. I have all this stuff made up. The running joke is, do you want another month for the underwater Atlas of Greyhawk? I have over
How
80
many months
maps.
ago?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Part of it's it's all my fault. I tend to put my stuff on hold to help out with other projects, get other stuff produced. Like the 2 Len Lakofka modules from the Lakofka archive. I helped produce those. Worked on those. Also, the Gulf of Gyar Gazetteer. Yep, Jay's got them right there. 2 of them. It's hard, man. You see people with some of this stuff, and it's so great. It just needs help getting done and put out there, and I can't help myself. I put myself on hold, and I try to get that stuff done.
Yeah.
So that is what delayed the underwater Atlas for Greyhawk, but it's close. I just got this other stuff that I'm working on right now. I have Ocean's Bounty, an adventure that's going to come out, like I said, here in July. And then for October, I have Curse on a Coastal Town, is another adventure. And then part 2 of the Qualish series, In Search
Does
of
it
Qualish.
seem like your projects are coming easier to you? You know, faster to put out the more you do?
The Arma Qualish, I was about ready to pull my hair out, what I had left. That was done professionally by Savage Baron. Lee, amazing layout and design guy.
Who also did Visions of Greyhawk, right? The layout for that too, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Visions of Greyhawk. And then he also went in and did the Lakofka archive modules too.
And he's a recent convert over to Greyhawk, a Mystara guy. So
yes,
yeah, really
Very
good to have
stolen.
him. Really good to have him as part of the community.
Yep, cannot thank him enough with his talent.
Absolutely. So, there we go.
Thanks, Gary, for that shout out.
Yeah.
He said
yeah.
Armor Qualish is currently available at Fine, Borders, Walden Books, and
Walden Books. That's awesome.
Oh man.
That is hysterical. So, something here. Our resident who knows everything, Les, says Malenti first appeared in 2E Monstrous Manual. Skip Williams did the Sea Devils book and elaborated on the Malenti and on the Sahagwin in general. Steve Marsh created the Sahagwin OD&D Blackmore. Yeah, we know that. So Reynolds was picking up on those earlier threads. Incidentally, Marsh said on Dragon's Foot and elsewhere that a race of bad guys in an old Justice League cartoon, I remember that, inspired the Sahagwin. Now I remember exactly what he's talking about there. Wow. It's generally agreed that the cartoon in question was late 60s Aquaman episode of the Rampaging Reptile Men.
They're in the Aquaman movie.
Yeah, and they're back in the Aquaman movie. Yeah, that is awesome. Wow. That is fantastic. So we're still Aldred. I found Savage Baron hiding in the luggage compartment. Yeah, he was a stowaway. At least he didn't fly out of the wheel well, right? So yeah. All right. Let's talk about some publications. I have a couple here, Troy, and I'm going to ask your opinion on them. So, first one, which I can bring up, and that is, I think this is awesome. So I know this is what's on your list. What are your thoughts about? And this goes back to the early 2000s, Necromancer games. Before Frog God existed, Dead Man's Chest. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have that version. I have the Frog God Games one, but it's very good. All encompassing. If you're looking to start an aquatic campaign and just need some place to start, that's a good book to have.
Yeah, and there's different editions. This is a 3.0 edition. Probably from year 2000, 2001, and then there's when Frog God bought all the Necromancer Games stuff, they brought it all out. But you got magic items, monsters, spells, rules, weather, which is important, right? To have weather rules, and there's NPCs, and they even have random shipboard events, which is kind of cool in the back here. I use some of this when I incorporate into my Hardby Woolly Bay adventuring. Not a lot, because we don't. That's the one thing. It's hard. I mean, all those ships I have, and I got the one Reaper ship, and it's just, it's hard to do. It still is, even with all the rule supplements. The more, and Troy, you've seen this. The more you stuff into there, the rounds drag. With all and that's the problem with it. But it's still good. It's great stuff. And they don't hold back in this. Things are deadly in this, just like also in the Glades of Death, which I use a lot of for my Vespi Evil Druids campaign. Different from the Dark Druids of Rob Kuntz, by the way. So another one there. But yeah, you got a lot of cool things in here. All right, that's one. Another one. Sorry. Pirates of Fallen Stars. What do you think?
It's Forgotten Realms. I don't own it.
Okay. All right.
I don't have it. So
okay.
Wouldn't that be redundant with of Ships in the Sea?
I don't think so. No, this is more based. No. I was just curious. Yeah.
I never got it, so I can't comment on it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Not a problem. How about this? This is by Matt Finch. Cyclopean Deeps. No? Okay.
No, I know Matt Finch. I have some of his other books. I do not have that one.
I don't even have this one on PDF, but it has the same style as Dead Man's Chest, and it's got a lot of monsters in it. So it looks pretty cool. All right. So there you go. I may want to, let me see when this was published. It's a high-level campaign sandbox in the underrealms near Rapanathik. Here we'll find the dark city of Ismane, the domes of the Serpent Folk, and even the twisted double reality where the material plane touches upon the bizarre plateau of Leng. Dark secrets abound. So there you go. So, yeah. All right. Cool. And then this, of course, this is embedded in Ghost of Saltmarsh of Ships in the Sea. So This is where, if you want to go with Greyhawk ship combat, here or Ghost of Saltmarsh. Correct, Troy? Anywhere else you'd go? Any other references you'd use if you want to do basic ship combat?
Man, they got it covered.
Yeah,
I would say that that is the gold standard. That book right there.
yeah.
And it is not cheap. If anybody's looking to get that book, definitely get it as PDF if you can get it.
Is it available in PDF? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Okay.
If it is, yeah.
Okay. But
Or
yeah.
get Ghost of Saltmarsh because it's just a reprint.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah, that's a good point. It goes to Saltmarsh.
I mean, nothing against Ghost of Saltmarsh,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
all the information that's in of Ships in the Sea is in Ghost of Saltmarsh, plus the adventures and the hooks and stuff that they added in there.
Very cool. So, all right. So, all right, Mike, let's give us another tidbit.
Hang on, guys.
Uh-oh.
So let's go back to the before I forget, let's go back to the ICC,
Okay.
specifically Blackboard Bay.
Oh. All right, let me bring Anna's map up.
There's a reference in one of the books that there's a storm giant that watches over that area. And I'm now curious if this could be one of those hierophants that Troy was mentioning.
Oh.
You know,
as a storm giant?
a giant protecting, over a large swath of area.
Well, storm giants are protective. I mean, they're generally good also. Why they don't get along with the rest of their giant kind. But unfortunately, Mike, for the ICC, I actually have a Selkie hierophant druid.
Well, that was the other thing they said that
there.
are there. There are Selkies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the two references I saw, that there are Selkies in there and a storm giant that watches over the bay. Cool.
Excellent.
And then I also wanted to come back again to the Battle Beneath the Waves, just to mention that this is the most detailed naval battle in all of Greyhawk lore. You will not get more information than what's on this battle, strange enough.
And where's
Living
that?
Living Greyhawk Journal number 5.
Where's the battle take place?
It takes place the Kyle Strait, I believe, if you can find that on the map.
It's up in the Dramid Ocean, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, way up there. And like you said, half the Zeef, probably more westward, I would think.
I think it's over in the Queberes Islands, the next island chain.
Like we're talking
as far as I can go on the map.
Yeah, so she probably doesn't have that level of detail.
Well, there in the Queberes is where they trapped part of the fleet in the shallows, and they lost half their fleet.
Then several years,
Zeef lost half their fleet.
Okay. All right.
And then several years later, they say the sailors were returned. So they held them for ransom that whole time. They didn't kill them, which that part I really found interesting.
The Greyhawk Journal 5. Oh gosh, it's all messed up. Is it the lost issue?
Yeah.
Rock of the West. Fred Whining? Yep.
Yes.
Fred Whining.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound really grim. Is Fred still with us or not? Does anyone know Gary?
I don't know. Gary.
Yeah. That's one I wanted, because he'd be another great one to have on. So I can't find page 10 on this. There's no page numbers. Here we go. That looks like it. No, that's Free City. Rock
right, 15.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Exploring the Sultanate of Zeef by Fred Whining, illustrations by Vince Locke and Raven Memora.
Yeah. There's a lot in that article, but there's a little sidebar thing that talks about the battle itself. And
here we go.
Oh yeah, there's Zoshir.
Zoshir's there too.
Zoshir the dragon turtle. Yep.
That's cool. Good for them for incorporating a lot of sea-based into their campaign. When we had them on, when we had both him and Slater, I think it is on, and Dickerson Slater. I was shocked at the level of detail. Man, it seemed to be the most detailed, down to the down to the bit out of all the living Greyhawks. I mean, they really went all out, and it's impressive. The work is impressive, and also I'm saying this for a reason. It's a selfish reason. I remember last year, there is zero way that John and Dickers's games should not get filled right away in Virtual GrowdCon. Okay, I recall I had to beg to get enough players for those games. His games are fantastic. Please, if you have an opportunity, I think he's only got one so far. Yeah, he's waiting for that one to see if it fills up when signups come. Get in the Zeef games. It'll be a great experience. So there you go on that. So Fortress of the Sea Lion. So there you go. Oh, they do have a map. Yes, sir.
Just, I mean, the Backloonies just do it better than the Soul.
Yes, Savage, we already went there. We already showed that. We showed all the Hierophants earlier on before you were on. Yep. Thank you for that. So, one in the sea at the Isle of Dread. What is that, Moose? One's in the sea of Isle of Dread. There's a lot of stuff over there. So it's good to see the level. I mean, the amazing level of detail. But I would love to see someone do some regular campaigning up there. Lots and lots of great stuff. Storm Giant. Okay. Very cool. Neat. All right, Troy, what do we got? We got plenty of time here. What would you like to discuss?
We're talking about different publications.
Yes.
So let's pull out an oldie but a goodie.
Oh.
PC3, The Sea People.
Wow. D&D. I don't even have that to show.
Is the Creature Crucible, but
wow.
And I guess it's Mystara.
It's got it. What year is that published?
1990.
Okay. Second edition.
But this book is excellent to start out aquatic adventures. It has a lot of the base Aquan races in it. Unfortunately, some of them never got carried on to present day. One example is the Na. I like them. Eric Mona and them joked about the mashers. The mashers are giant segmented worms.
Put that closer for Justinius, if you don't mind. PC3, right? PC3.
Yeah, PC3.
Cool. Creature Crucible.
Yep, The Sea People.
It's probably a really rare book.
But it just has all those different Aquan races. It's got good background lore for them all. Brief descriptions of their background, their society, sea giants as a race, were sharks or sharkkin is what they're called. Then just to give you a couple other examples, Kopru.
Oh, Kopru
are in there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a shame that some of those were lost as you come to present day from the different editions, and all the editions are guilty of it. Monsters get created and then they just kind of get dropped off, or other monsters are in, obscure magazine articles and stuff. But yeah, this book right here, hands down.
Okay.
Very, very good. Good place to start.
You said something that titillated me a little bit, and that is lycanthropy underwater. How much use do you have? Because the were shark is in the original monster manuals, right?
Yeah.
Monster manual 2. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts?
I like it. It's a good way to have a society that could exist in both on land and water.
Okay.
You know, like a coastal town that, you know, that's just how they have adapted. You know, whether they're a were shark or a were sea lion. I mean, we've seen them before too. Those exist. Uh, yeah, I'm not against them at all.
Okay.
And actually, in that book, PC3, the sharkkin are the ones that all the other Aquan races watch out for because they are very feral and aggressive.
That is that gave me an idea, which I appreciate.
You're welcome.
We'll
I don't want to use were sharks now.
Well, I have a perfect place, and that is very soon. I will be. I've said this before, but it's just timing. We're gonna have a nice big Woolly Bay adventure, and we're gonna be running this shortly. We're gonna be running A9 by Carlos Lysing very shortly, thicker than water. Remember, my game though, Macrusha still is around. That doesn't have to affect this game at all. All right, so note that I can make that work. So a were shark, were kraken. Oh my God, Moose! I don't know if that's society or what. Kraken tend to be solitary, right? So I'm not sure if that would work. We encountered were sharks and friends a few months ago in my 5e game. Malar doesn't like my character. Yeah, I love Malar. Malar was converted over to the Master of the Hunt in my game because we needed an evil, druidic-based kind of feral deity, and I thought that fit the best. Cernus is more of a neutral spin in my game. So here's another. I don't have this one. I have Dead Man's Chest, Troy. I don't have this one. And is this better or equal to or right on par with the Sea Devils? This by Alex Kammer, who is game hole con guy.
Yeah, it's close.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's far off.
Okay.
I personally prefer the Sea Devils.
Okay.
I think it's more encompassing, more information. But again, I mean, it's a good resource.
Okay. Cool to know.
And another option, because they have the Swords and Wizardry and 5e.
Yep. Well, yeah. For now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For now.
Swords and Wizardries, they don't own the rights to anymore. So anything they're getting through the prints, and they're getting rid of 5e soon too. It's all going to be Castles and Crusades. So, yep, which is good for Troller Games. How about this? Because this is super expensive.
This wonderful book.
Yes, Other Lands.
And yes, people, don't be scared. All my stuff I have, I'm not a collector. Everything is a research. That's how I treat it.
Dragonlance?
Yes.
Yes, this is
Do you have Dragons of Faith?
No.
Dragons of Faith. And the only reason I bring that up is Dragons of Faith is the one that has aquatic battle system counters in it.
Really?
That's the one I use. I don't know anything about. I don't have the book anymore. I have the counters, and I still use them to this day.
Interesting.
Yes. So, go ahead, Jay.
No, that's it. Why? Who knows, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Research that.
Very cool. Well, it's the second edition.
This book here is it's only the last third of it, which is water based, and that's from Watermere.
Okay.
And it just has some general aquatic lore and some new monsters in it. But it's just a rarity, right? Because whenever you think Dragonlance, you definitely don't think of aquatic at all.
No.
But so that was why it kind of stuck out to me as, like one of those rarities.
Cool. Anything in this that's adds to any of the other books, Ships of the Sea, or any different monsters in it, or
just the different monsters. It's got that ocean dragon in it.
Cool.
And it has some good lore in it as well. If
Okay.
you're looking for that, the brine dragon is what that's called. And then they have the aquatic elves in it as well. But again, yeah, it's a nice little piece of lore.
Excellent. So, I don't know how this ever happened, but it did. So before I was streaming, 4th edition was out before 5th. And Jay I love Dungeon Crawl Classics, especially when they were first editions, right? They had those old ones, had some third. Well, this one I ran. It was 4th edition module. I converted back, and it's called. Here we go. And this is a good introductory water adventure. It's called Tower of the Black Pearl, and the premise behind this is the tower only comes above the water every so many years. I think it's every 10 years. So I put this right out in the Woolly Bay. Once every decade, the tides of the empowering ocean, I just made Woolly Bay, recede far enough to reveal the highest eaves of a mysterious undersea tower. I remember my players love this adventure. So just note, I wouldn't recommend, and I can back convert it to 1E2E. Very basic, but it was a cool concept, and you had a time limit before it sunk. So that was what I liked about it. And let me see if I can find the map for it to show. But yeah, and this was Dungeon Crawl Classics. There you go, showing all the different levels and the map you have, and that'll show it. And once you're out of time, it sinks. And I think
like it.
they just barely made it out. But it's first level, so something to mess with if you want to start something and place it wherever you want. All right, and it's available on drive-through. I don't know what it is, but I've had this forever. So, yep, Tower of the Black Pearl. All right, I got one other one that was a 4th edition from Dungeon Crawl. Real quick here. I didn't run this one. You ever see this one, Troy? The Sea Queen Escapes. It's another underwater adventure.
Colorful cover.
Yeah, I didn't run that one. I ran this one, Sailors of the Scarlet Sea. I didn't run that one either. I was collecting them water ones back in the day, and I for Hardby. I didn't run either of those two. So I'm showing you shit I didn't even run. Sorry about that. Yep. So there's 2 of them from Dungeon Crawl Classics. Here, I don't know where the other one was, but that's neither of the 2 that I ran. And that one's 0 level. That one's 0 level, and this one is level 3. So there are sea-based adventures you can check out from them. They don't sponsor me or anything like that, but I know that Tower of the Black Pearl was really good. I like that. So I want to ask, because is this the oldest sea-based adventure that we all know about?
Apparently, I just learned about it this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we believe so. It's from Judges Guild, Modron.
Bob Bloodsoul was a big name. He always had that picture, right? That picture of with the tie on and everything. Yeah. So I don't have it, and you say you can get it fairly cheaply, but is it underwater or is it on the water? Do you know, Troy? If it's
no, I
okay.
do not have it. I've known of it and I've looked. You can find it on eBay.
Yeah. And this is the 70s.
I mean, compared to everything else, it's for its age. Yeah, you can find it reasonably priced.
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, used to have it
40 years ago. That's about right. Yeah, that's about right. It's probably that. It's older than that. So give us another tidbit there, Mike. What do you got? You gotta have another tidbit.
Okay. Well, you're talking about adventures, but if you're the do-it-yourself kind, I guess. From the Ashes has a few adventure ideas for stuff on and under the water. There's one called Dolphins in the Bay, where some dolphins, somehow you can communicate with them, come to you for help because the old Ixits are giving them a hard time. They need some help. Then there's Death from the Seas, where the villages near Gradsel are being plagued by sea zombies. That one kind of, self-explanatory. And then there's Fog on the Waters, which is on the near div. And the old mysterious fog rolls in
Yep.
and your ship's taken, that old gem. So
A fog
three
rolling in.
three aquatic adventures, recommended in here that you could develop on your own.
Good. There's all a great thing about all the that if we see a Greyhawk box set and from the ashes is all the threads, all
Smoke
the
on the
possible threads are not smoke on the water. No, more
water.
like
Fire
death
in the
on the
sky.
water. Alrighty, they're awesome. All right, Troy. Tell us something you'd like. You'd say this is cool. Someone should be doing this adventure, or someone should be adventuring here, and all the stuff you've developed or that you like. What do you think? What would you like to see?
I think a lot of people underestimate what all they can do in a water-based setting
Mhm.
and how far it stretches, right? You have all of Greyhawk's oceans and seas, right? That's obvious. Okay. The next obvious would be, the Great Lakes that we have in Greyhawk. But a lot of people, you know, if in the different planes, you have bodies of water or they are all water. So like the Abyssian Ocean, right? The Solar Sea in the outer planes. On the Abyss, there are different layers. Blood Tor
Good
is
point.
layer 13. The Gaping Maw is 88. 89 is the Shadow Sea. I mean, you got these different areas where you could adventure all over the place. Elysium, one of its layers is a sea. The different elemental planes, the elemental plane of water. You have the City of Glass, which exists in the elemental plane of water. That's the equivalent to the City of Brass in the plane of fire.
Ah,
Nice.
And you also have the Citadel of 10,000 Pearls, which is also in the elemental plane of water. And the Avenger, which is a ship. And those are all listed in the Manual of the Planes
Jeff
in
Grubbs.
detail.
Yep.
Um,
What about underwater lakes like the one supposedly in D3 that's the Aboleth Kingdom? Anything you've developed with the Underdark water, or
The
is that
Dark Sea.
the Dark Seas, or or is that a step too far so far?
Step too far so far. I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm kind of busy with everything else I got.
Okay.
But that's okay, Jay. I'll grab this iron and I'll start putting it on the fire and warming it up a while. Adding to my workload.
Maritime ghost horror stories like Shandy tells of all. That's a cool point there, Patrick. Yeah, get
Yeah,
in
that'll
some real
be
stuff,
nice.
almost like a grim fairy tale for water. You know? Yeah. How can it be underground and underwater? Yep. Storm Rack. Yeah, I don't have that. How good's that? That's one I don't have.
This is another very good book, a great resource, from the D20 era. Another all-encompassing. There was 3 books put out: Storm Rack, Sandstorm, and Frostburn. And for those different, Sandstorm for a desert biome, Frostburn for frigid Arctic, and then this one, all 3 of them, I cannot promote enough for a great resource if you want to run anything in those kind of biomes, to give you great ideas and a place to start.
So,
Storm Rack is what I used a lot for my Sea Princes campaign. I would always cobble together ship rules from different editions, so it was like this big old hybrid thing. But Storm Rack was one of the main ones I started from because we were playing 3.5 at the time.
um, how in depth, Mike, were those ship battles you did in the Sea Princess one? Like, did they go on days and days?
No,
Okay.
because after a while, I found out that my research and hand wringing over the rules exceeded what I was actually using in gameplay. So then I just started going for more cinematic. flair and didn't. I found that my players weren't too, interested in the minutia of ship, stuff
and
as I was.
it can be that. So Big Mac has been linking a lot of little mini adventures that were available in the web archive. Here's one that I recommend. I ran this a long time ago. Shoals of Intrigue. Not really. No, not a long one. That's a different one again. I can't remember one. Number 722. I ran this, and this is by Robert Weiss, who seems to have done all of them in those links. So here it is. This is it. When in the third edition era, it was a free download. It's probably available still. But this one, another freebie. It has look the encounter, the wreck of the faithful lady. So you have some. It's easy. Once again, I converted it right into Harby, my Harby Woolly Bay campaign, right there. So pirates operating the seas near the coastal city, easy enough, right there. You got the pirate aspect to it, and that can tie in with the slavers as well. And here's the wreck of the faithful ladies. You get to go and you get to go down and really check that wreck out. There's scrags in here, all sorts of normal things you think underwater. And it's a pretty neat one there. There you go. Advanced ankegs. I think that's on the land part of it. But yep. So there you go. An undersea caverns and stuff, and a shipwreck to the floating island. That's another one. Yeah, that's another good one there, Mac. That's another good one there. I'm trying. I'm never gonna locate it. We've come across. There's one magic item, and I didn't link, and it was pretty neat. It was an adventure by Expeditions Retreat Press. One of Walt's characters has it now, in my Harby group. It's called the Eye of the Sea King, and it can actually summon a water scrag to you. But in order to utilize it, you have to sacrifice and bury someone at sea, a creature. You can't do a chicken either, right? It's got to be something substantial. So you kill an enemy, and then you sacrifice the body at sea. Then you get the power from the Eye of the Sea King, which is a neat item. So Sea King's Malice by Frog God Alex Kammer. No, he did not. Do you have that, Troy?
Yeah, I have it digitally. That's another good adventure that came out of that group with Dead Man's Chest. They have a couple other ones called Let's Get Kraken. Good title. The Black Spot is another one. And then they have another one with Dagon. I think it's the Temple of Dagon is another one. All good sea adventures or sea related good resources.
Yeah. They put out some good product, some really neat, detailed product with great maps. Yeah. And I always thought, Garner, I always think of a Frogomyth as a land-based, pool, swamp, murky area where frogs are. And so that's why amphibians, right? That's why I always think of him more of not sea-based on that. So Troy, what would you like to share with us as we wrap up a bit here? What are things you want to touch? I know you have a lot of these maps. You have these in-depth maps we haven't really discussed, where you go topography down into the depths. Are these all you're doing? Did you make all these?
Yes, these are all mine. These are examples of what you'll have in the Underwater Atlas of Greyhawk.
Cool. There's there. Sahagwin layer. Yeah. Note this is right near the salt marsh area for this one. So, Gradsil and other locations. And so, as you can see, Dromage's lair is nowhere near land at all. It's way out there, which is really cool. So, that's neat. Here's another neat one here, Iron Gate, showing some other areas. Anything of note that's like hidden here on these maps, like on this one, like here's a like there are sea elves here, or there's
No,
okay.
My if it was noted on Anna's map or other maps, then I'm tried to make sure that I incorporated it in.
Okay.
But my goal is to give you a tool that you as DMs can use, and then you fill it in how you see fit.
Okay.
Now, I am planning, like Jay has already shown, like the Sawagan camp and or settlement and the Aquatic Elf City. And like I said, I just wrote up the Merfolk City. I plan to give you a couple examples of the different Aquan races, uh, cities of different size or outposts, and that. But whatever you're going to place, you place it in your Greyhawk, right? It's your Greyhawk, and nobody can tell you that you're wrong. But that's my goal. Like, I don't want to map everything out and place everything and then not leave anything for you to create in that world. There's not a lot out there, so make it your own. And I plan to give you the tools to be able to do that.
And it's much appreciated. Absolutely. Absolutely appreciated. I'm looking here. All right. Give me. We didn't really touch on this, but as far as like the outskirts area, how much have you developed beyond the Flannis? Have you worked on? Is this the main area, the Hyperborea, or do you go beyond this? For
That's about the western edge as far as I've gone so far.
Okay.
And the reason why this is in focus, one, because of the strait, but two, also because I've been helping the Beyond the Flaness people produce their content that they have, which the first one was the Gulf of Gyar Gazetteer, which is to the right. And the next Gazetteer to come out will be of the Giant Kingdoms, which is there on the western side of the Sea of Hyperborea and down.
Okay.
So that, and again, I was trying to solve the issue of the warm water current.
Right.
And it just made sense to me. So
Awesome. Great
that's not canon. That's my vision, of to explain something that was in a book, and to each his own for that. You can use it or you cannot use it. I also have a version of this map where the western side of the strait is Karatur.
Wow, that's
and
right.
it actually fits.
Cool.
That's how I would have played it.
I made sure that that it was on the right longitude, latitude, and it fits on that side. I didn't give that to Jay, sorry.
That's all right.
But I have posted it on the Flaness Geographical Society, and I think the Greyhawk Adventures as well back in the day. But one other thing I'd like to point out,
Please.
right, in an official canon, Greyhawk Adventures again, which this is the inspiration for Virtual Greyhawk 4 art, by the way.
Yep, absolutely.
But in this section is another listing of about 7 hooks for DMs to use for Adventures in Greyhawk. And it starts on page 106, and it has Diver Down, The Lair, Conspiracy, The Atoll, and Jaws Among the Coral, and Sea Sprites. So those are, those hooks already right here baked in, along with Toricombi and the Sinking Isle.
What page again, Troy? I just got it up there.
106.
106
is where it starts.
Okay.
But yeah, the stuff is out there. It's just a lot of people.
Picture 106.
It's that's the other thing that I'm trying to do. My underwater rules set.
Here we go. Yep. Atoll.
I'm trying to keep between 10 to 12 pages. So that way it's not too laborious and not, 30 plus pages of new rules that people have to learn, both players and DMs. Because I want more people to play and experience this world. And I think you can have a lot of fun in it.
Absolutely. I've only scratched the surface. We've really rarely done underwater unless it's a shipwreck, right? And go down, you get an airy water spell, you get like 6 potions
Right.
of water breathing. We've never experienced it beyond a single adventure at a time, and I have a feeling that it would be really cool to go beyond that, and give it a shot. Yeah, it would really be. And there's a lot of data out there now, and Troy's been kind enough to really compile it in a lot of publications for everyone. So, yeah, the Adventure Archive is huge there. I know it's a lot of third edition stuff. They're all third editions. I ran a lot of those, Mac. A lot of those adventures back in the day. They came out during my worst time of DMing homebrew, and that was when I was playing World of Warcraft 4 times a week, right, Troy? you know the feeling. You were
Only 3 to 4.
Yeah, you only 3 to 4 to me, or I got divorced. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
my worst time of DM ever was playing the World of Warcraft era. One of the reasons.
If Allie's still in here in the crowd, she's a hardcore WoW player
Still
too.
to this day, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, she's in still. Wow, nice, good to hear. But for me, long gone on that. So, well, we only scratched the surface on this, and my hope is in the future we go into some more detailed discussions.
Yeah, we didn't even touch any of the dragon. Well, most of the dragon or dungeon magazine material.
A lot
That's
of it.
probably a good thing.
Only Tamara's Fate really is the only one we really discussed in all the dungeons. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Just real quick, I'll read them off in case people are interested.
Go for it, please.
If you're looking for additional aquatic adventuring articles, information, Dungeon Magazine number 40. Dungeon Magazine number 77, A Walk Beneath the Waves. Dragon Magazine 165 has 4 articles in it. Dragon Magazine 190 has 3 articles in it. And Dragon Magazine 250, the entire magazine is devoted to the sea.
Wow.
And Jay's been scrolling some of those covers. They've been scrolling by.
Yeah.
And there's Sharkadia. That is MCDM. That's Matt Coville's company. That's issue number 27, which just came out last month. And that's all devoted to the sea. Very good content. The next issue, the last issue that just came out, also has 2 articles of the sea, which they were so good they couldn't fit them all into one of their magazines. So if you're a Patreon or can get access to them, they're very good content as well.
So our goal off of this is to, like I said, in the future have some more specific content ones. Maybe when publications come out, we can go over them. I think that would be cool. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. We got plenty of.
We got plenty of more in depth. This is just scratching the surface to give you an overview. Troy was kind enough to come on and share with us some things. Troy, anything else you'd like? I mean, please, we can run late. I'm just saying, is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience that we haven't touched tonight? I know we've bounced.
That book you have up on your scroller right now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Cerulean Seas.
Yep, Pathfinder.
That is a the publisher is Illyria Publishing. that is a setting that's all underwater, and they have like 8 or 9 books that are part of that, and it's very detailed, different parts of the world, including underwater psionics.
Wow.
Very complete. A lot of great information in all those books. I have them all.
Is it drive-through available too?
Yes, that's where I got mine.
Okay.
All those blue books right there on my bookshelf.
Yep.
That's all the Cerulean Sea books.
Okay.
Don't order them all at one time because that's about $250 or more. Not that I know.
Well, I'm never going to live down making you order all those Reaper minis at one time.
Oh, you mean that big ship right there, which is still in the box?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
waiting
man.
for it to come.
From Reaper Bones 5?
Bill's working on the second one, and we're gonna need to be working on the third one soon. We're gonna have 3 of those on an 8x8 table. It'll be like, can't fit them. Yeah, some cool stuff. I mean, that ship is awesome. It's 2 inches. It's almost, it's almost 4 feet long. It's great, and we've used it a couple times. You'll see that in the Carlos Adventure upcoming too. So, yeah. So really cool stuff tonight. Troy, thanks a lot. What a fun discussion. It's
Well done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well
absolutely. We're let me see which I popped this up to.
Thank you for
here.
inviting me.
Of course.
And getting to promote this neglected area.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, neglected. Little has been done with it.
More should be done with it, and Sea Adventures are great fun. That's right, Began. And I know one last thing. I know every time I watch Darling, she seems to be painting something you commissioned her to do. Yeah.
I have tasked Darling with painting 5 dragons that I got from the Reaper Bones 5.
Nice.
She's painting them the chromatic colors, so she is still working on the red dragon right now.
Awesome.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I have to send her that dragon turtle because I got that after the fact, and I've told her, I said that's coming to you if you want it. And she's like, send it.
More mini.
Yeah. So. And she has the Denizens of the Deep that came in that Bones 5.
Yeah.
I sent her that whole box too, so that ain't even like she has it.
The Eye of the Deep is the best in that. That was the miniature that I needed. I didn't have one.
I'm afraid she's going to keep that because she has a thing for like beholders and whatnot. She hasn't sprung that on me yet.
Yeah, because you can't get it anywhere else. It's not.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's gonna be like, but come on, Troy, I did this awesome job on these dragons.
It's definitely a good one. So, Tino, I see you on. You and Crazy Cyber. I apologize. I think that James from Infinite Dimensions on vacation because he hasn't responded to any of my emails. So I still need your codes from last week's Infinite Dimensions. All right. If for some reason by this weekend he doesn't, I'm going to put compilations together of STLs that you don't have from Infinite Dimensions, and we'll talk about it and send them to you. But right now, and it'll be more than a $20 value. They haven't gotten back to me. You know how I hate to not get out everything. So just letting you know. Okay, cool. So let's do some shout outs here. And note we'll want to hit some more specific topics in the future. This was a really great and fun discussion. So, Mike, what do you got going on, man?
I have nothing going on, but I just want to mention that the Greyhawk campaign I'm in with Rich Longitalos, his Buccaneers game, we seem to be like underwater as much as we are above water. And
cool.
So I've definitely never been, between that and talking with Troy on a regular basis, I've never had this much aquatic lore running through my head as I have in the last couple of years. So it's finally nice to now direct all that out one night like we did today.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we scratched the surface tonight, right? There is so much content we can go over. Like, a lot of people are like, what the hell's a Copperu? right? I mean, we could do shows on all the underwater races, all the ones, there's a lot we can do. Oh, cool, Fort Worth. Good to hear that everything's sent out except for those 2 codes. I just wanted to put that out there because I hate. Um, all right, well, thanks, Greg. Thank you very much. Well, I thought Adam was gonna hop on, but that maybe I lost track of where she is now, where she's traveling or not. I thank you. I know she really was really excited when she heard Troy was coming on, but she
Yeah, there's a lot of maps to be seen tonight. She would really miss that.
Yep. But she'll be back shortly. I'm not sure she'll be back next week or the week after. I lose track of time. So
I think she said she'll be back on the 11th.
So next week
is whenever she comes back.
Yep. Very, very cool. Mike, thanks. Appreciate it. Troy, what else would you like to shout out? I know you told us some of the stuff that's coming out. You got something coming out at the end of the month, something in December.
If you're interested in more underwater information, monsters, magic items, spells, you name it, the soonest it's going to come out is the next adventure, Ocean's Bounty, which will be out this month. Other than that, Visions of Greyhawk magazine. I have submitted articles in all the issues so far, and think we're working on issue number 3 already. And I have stuff for that. So,
oh boy, I better get my in for issue number 2 then. Yeah,
you better get hot.
Yeah, no, it's my priest of Saint Benedor. I'll get that in.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's the most recent stuff. For the Underwater Atlas of Greyhawk, that will not be until next year. Like I said, I have the 3 adventures that I'm going to do. I'm working on the Giants Gazetteer, and I'm also working on the Lakofka archive stuff that will be presented at Gary Con again, just like last year. So, like I joked around with Jay, I have a lot of irons in the fire. And thanks to Jay, I just added another one tonight. Thanks, Jay.
Oh, what with the Aboleth? The Aboleth City?
Yeah.
Because you always had those off of D3. Like, what's that big 6 hex area out there in the water out there? It's like, that's where the Aboleth are from. Okay.
Yeah. But I enjoy this. I mean, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've loved this environment ever since I was a kid, and I'm happy that I can bring this information and supply the community with more material. And I just hope you guys love it.
I think everyone said very positive things in chat, and that's one, and so definitely 100% there, Troy. And I really appreciate you coming on and discussing this. It was definitely I learned a lot. I learned a lot of stuff tonight, and that's always a good thing. Little tidbits out there, and also showing how much of a reference the Living Greyhawk Journal Gazettes are. Oh my gosh! I mean, like this is. I threw, like, for example, Darling's on, and like when she had Rosie, her halfling, I immediately threw it to Yashir, one of those Scarlet Brother and halfling hounds in the adventures to go after a character. It's like, this is cool. This is so awful. It's cool. And I didn't, what is it called? The ship cruncher? What the heck was that thing again, Mike? And Living Greyhawk Journal 4 you shared tonight. That was the creature, yeah. I was like,
the Nerean.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, I had never. It's things just, there's so much detail.
Yeah, he got me on that one.
Yeah,
yeah. I missed that one.
That was awesome.
I'll get you next time, Mike.
All right, what is going on here? So tomorrow night, not only is it, I think Curtis, you won this last time if I recall correctly. But I got some really cool. This is my remake of the Doom Grinder, Importance of a Great Apocalypse Part 5. the ruined temple of Salakra. If you all remember, Salakra is a demigoddess trapped in the god trap. This is all written up by Ed Greenwood for us, for the Greyhawk community. She's a demigoddess of Ralashaz, which fits perfectly. So I got some really cool stuff coming up below ground. I got to figure out how to get in, and then there was the above ground fight that was working on last week. So that is all still going on. Just wanted to show that. But note, the big thing that is this is our quarterly Miniature Building Authority giveaway. $75 gift certificate and a $25 gift certificate. And I have the codes, so you'll get them that night. So, those winners, $75 and $25. Miniature Building Authority, my oldest sponsor, tomorrow night. Yes. Tomorrow night, that's a great giveaway. They do it once a quarter for us. Great company. Kirk has always been, wonderful for us. So, all right, and that's tomorrow night. I don't know what there's no streams over the weekend. I'm gonna do some family stuff on, no Saturday morning or Saturday night this week. I don't know what I'm doing Sunday night. Inked Mage hasn't given me a go ahead yet, but if not, we had a great topic almost last second where last week on the Dark Arts, Tim and his dad and William Henry Dvorak. It was a fantastic discussion, and it almost happened like within 24 hours of me figuring out, hey, I need to do a topic. So guarantee we'll have something similar or a discussion of that ilk, hopefully, if I don't have a guest coming up this Sunday, which I'll find out soon. All right, so let's do the giveaway here. If you don't have either one of these, here's your choice. The Treasures of Greyhawk, or let me tell you something. I don't care. It says Forgotten Realms in this. This is a great book, considering it has spells in here I use against Ed, so that's all you need to know. The Drow of the Underdark. This is the second place to go for Dark Elves besides D3. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, it's a great book. Great book. Let me go back to the main screen. I'm going to close this out. Everyone in. All right. Give this away and see what we got, and I'll get that out. Probably I'll get it out Friday morning because I gotta leave my house tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I won't be home like 6 o'clock at night tomorrow, right before the stream. It'll be a fun day. Wow, right? Work. Here we go. The winner tonight, Kith Bigman. That's a new name. Let's see if that person is on still.
Congratulations.
They're on. Kith Bigman. You can tell me which one you want, and also, yes, congrats. Yes, Kith, I will need your full name and address. You can whisper it to me and tell me, do you want Drow of the Underdark or Treasures of Greyhawk, which has like 12 adventures in it. It's a really great Greyhawk thing. You tell me which one you want, and we'll get them out. Courtesy of Troy, Canadian Ancient Gamer. I'll get that right out to you. We're going to raid into someone. I don't think I've raided into them ever, just because I feel like it. Architects of Fate. We're going to raid into them tonight. All right? Give them a shot. Trying to spread the love, out to some of the smaller. Wednesday night is crazy because on my followed list, I got to have 25 streams up right now. So, yep. And Troy, thanks. That was fun. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And if anybody has any questions, you can get a hold of me over on the Cannon Fire Discord. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and great resource of people over there for any of you who have questions about Greyhawk.
And once again, thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Les. And thank you, DM Dave, and thank you, John and Dickerson, for getting the events into Greyhawk Con. Sign-ups continue. It's only, remember, $5 plus a nominal fee to the TTE site. It covers all our costs. That's it. Get in. People are signing up. Remember, sign-ups for events don't start till mid-August, but the more we get in, the better, just so we can judge things. Hey, Stronghold, good to see you. You're catching us right at the end here. It was a great discussion. Thank you all. Okay. Let's raid into Architects of Fate, and we'll see you all tomorrow night, 7:30. Like I said, huge giveaway tomorrow night. Miniature Building Authority. Everyone have a good night.
Take care, everybody.
I don't think I hit the wrong button tonight, did I?
Nope. Don't start now.
Look at that. Good timing too. Thank
Get
you.
your events in for virtual Greyhawk Con.
Please get them in, and please, if you're a streamer, let me know so we can coordinate your highlighted stream as well. We're going to make sure we get everyone's highlighted stream set and into a time slot.
Everybody ask yourself, what have you done for Greyhawk lately?
Exactly.
Oh,
All right, now why aren't these guys coming up?
My
Shit.
whip reaches far and
Give
wide.
me 1 second here, everyone. Did I spell it wrong? I must be spelling it wrong. Well, 1 sec. I have to. They go? They're not there. They're not live anymore. Okay, well that's why they're gone. I don't see them. All right. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this easy then. Sorry, we're not gonna go to a D&D stream. Yeah. Well. All right. We'll go to our one of our partnered Greyhawk streamers. We'll go to Bones. She'll appreciate it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night. They must have locked off. I was like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? All right, let's make sure they went. Wow, it's the longest that the music is gone.